Amrut mission, right? You might have come across this mission. It's called Amrut mission, Atal mission for rejuvenation and urban transformation. It's Amrut mission, Atal mission for rejuvenation and urban transformation. So this Amrut mission has completed 5 years of implementation. So 3 schemes have finished 5 years of implementation under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. One is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the second one is Amrut mission, and the third one is Smart Cities mission. We have already discussed Smart Cities mission. Now we are discussing this Amrut mission. We'll take up the other mission also later. So the full form is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. The implementing ministry is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, right? This is the implementing ministry, and this mission has 5 objectives. We have to know those. Firstly, universal water supply. This is the first objective. Then sewage network improvement, right? Improving the sewage infrastructure. That is the second thing. Third thing is green parks and spaces in the cities, right? Green parks and spaces in the cities. Fourth one is storm water drainage, storm water, STORM, storm water drainage. The fifth one is non-motorized urban transport. Non-motorized urban transport, right? Universal water supply, we know this. Second thing is improving sewage infrastructure. That is also very much required for treating the wastewater to reduce soil pollution and water pollution. Green parks and spaces, that is also very much important. Yesterday also we have discussed about one scheme related to urban forests, Nagar 1 scheme. And fourth component is storm water drainage. During heavy rainfall and during cyclones, right? Urban flooding is a common phenomenon we see. That is because of poor drainage system, right? So for solving that also, a component is there called storm water drainage. And also one of the major challenge in urban areas is the temperature. You must have come across a term in environment called urban heat island effect, right? Urban heat island effect. What is this urban heat island effect means? Compared to the rural areas, urban areas will be at a higher temperature. This is because of the various emissions that take place in the urban areas, right? Various greenhouse gas emissions from the vehicles and the industries. Because of this, urban areas, they heat up, temperature is more. This is called urban heat island effect, right? Find about this term in detail. So to reduce this urban heat effect also, non-motorized urban transport. Non-motorized means eco-friendly urban transport is being promoted. That is also a component under this scheme. So these are the 5 components. And also in various cities, water ATMs were also set up. Water ATMs, right? One of the component is universal water supply under this Amrut mission. So under that, water ATMs, just like cash ATMs, water ATMs were also set up, right? So these are some brief points with respect to Amrut. As we are preparing for prelims, just the important points we have to take care. So the implementing ministry is Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry. Full form is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, Amrut. 5 objectives are water supply to be made universal, sewage network improvement, green parks and spaces, storm water drainage, and non-motorized urban transport. These are the 5 components. And water ATMs are also being set up. Now, with respect to prelims, we need to know the fine differences between Amrut and Smart Cities. The difference between these 2 missions, right? So they can confuse us here because both the Amrut mission and the Smart Cities mission both talk about improving the cities, but they take different paths. So what is the difference between these 2? If we see, 2 basic differences are there between Amrut mission and Smart Cities mission. Smart Cities mission also tries to improve the city infrastructure, but it is related to IoT infrastructure, Internet on Things infrastructure, right? Smart Cities mission tries to bring smart solutions for city development, e-governance, CCTVs, the components which I have discussed before when we were discussing smart cities mission. Just go through them, guys. Mostly IoT, Internet of Things related components are more in the smart cities mission, right? Smart solutions. Whereas Amrut, if we see, what were the components? These are the basic infrastructure services. Any city should have proper drainage, at least some green spaces, parks, right? Water supply, sewage infrastructure. So all these are basic services, right? So Amrut talks about basic infrastructure services in the city. Smart city mission talks about Internet of Things and improving the quality of life of the people, right? Internet of Things, smart solutions led city development. That is one difference. Second difference is, when we are discussing smart cities mission, we have discussed that it's not the local bodies but the special purpose vehicles that will implement the smart cities mission, right? Rather than the local bodies, the special purpose vehicles are given more importance. Whereas in the Amrut mission, finances and functions are directly given to the local bodies. Finances and functions are directly given to the local bodies for implementing, right? So these are the two differences between Amrut mission and smart cities mission, guys, right? If there is any option which says Amrut mission strives to bring smart solutions for city development, then that is wrong, right? Smart solutions framework is for smart cities mission. Whereas basic infrastructure like water supply, sewage, smart cities does not talk about all this. Amrut talks about this, right? So this is but one similarity is both of these schemes are implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This is about Amrut mission and smart cities. Just try to go through Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana also, right? Recently, a component for migrant workers was included in this Awas Yojana scheme, right? For the migrant laborers who are stranded during the lockdown times, the government has included a new component under this Awas Yojana for the migrant workers. Just find out what that sub-component is in that scheme, right? So the second topic we are going through is e-diplomacy. E-diplomacy, right? What is this e-diplomacy and why is this important? This is important because if we see in the recent times, mostly countries top level heads are interacting through virtual meetings. Previously, they used to go from one place to other country's place, or other countries' presidents and prime ministers used to come to our country, right? Bilateral talks and agreements used to happen in a traditional way. But now, because of some circumstances, essentially because of Corona, virtual meetings are taking place. So in this context, we have to know what is e-diplomacy. So e-diplomacy means use of internet and communication technologies for diplomatic functions, right? Use of internet and communication technologies for diplomatic functions, right? This is about e-diplomacy, and as a part of this e-diplomacy, India-Australia virtual summit took place. India-Australia virtual summit took place. G20 leaders summit took place as a virtual meeting, and also SAARC virtual summit was also conducted, and non-aligned movement summit was also conducted. So these four are important for us. These four, with respect to international organizations topic, we have to analyze this because these were the first four things that were took up as a part of virtual meetings. So India-Australia relations, how are they? Just go through them. It's important for international relations. G20, when is it set up? Where is its headquarters? What are the 20 countries? Just find out. SAARC virtual summit. When was the last summit held? Right? Why were they stopped? Where is the SAARC headquarters? Any declarations taken? Just go through all those. Similarly, non-alignment movement, right? There is a huge criticism that is increasing for non-alignment movement, right? There are arguments increasing whether India is still really non-aligned or is it aligning to other countries, right? So in this context, non-alignment movement is important for us. Just find out in which conference this took shape, when was it founded, what is Bandung conference, Right? Who are the founding members of non-alignment movement? Right now, who are the members? How many are there? So in these dimensions, for prelims, we have to study in this way, guys, related to international organizations. Right? So this is about e-diplomacy. Third topic is norms, N-O-R-M-S. N-O-R-M-S, norms, right? The full form for this is new orientation for a reformed multilateral system. New orientation for a reformed multilateral system. So what is this norms? So this speaks about multilateralism, right? This is related to international relations. So this word was used by India. We'll come to it. So before that, we have to know that for the 8th time, India has been elected as non-permanent member of UNSC, right? For the 8th time, India was elected as non-permanent member of UNSC, right? If there is any option saying for the first time India was elected to UNSC this year, then that is wrong. So in this way only they'll try to confuse us, or they'll say it is the second time or the third time, but it is the 8th time, right? For the 8th time, India became a non-permanent member of the UNSC, right? So in this context, you have to know how does this elections take place for non-permanent members? What is the total strength of UNSC? There are 5 permanent nations and 10 non-permanent nations, right? Total 15 members body, this UNSC body is. What is the mandate of UNSC? International peace and security, right? This also you have to know, right? What is the issue of veto powers? Just find about that also. Which countries have veto power? Do only permanent countries have veto power in UNSC? Yes, the P5 countries have veto power in UNSC, but the non-permanent UNSC members have a power called collective veto power. We all know that permanent countries of UNSC have veto power, but the non-permanent members of UNSC, that is the other 10 countries, together have a power called collective veto power. Find about it. What is the collective veto power, right? And what is the term of UNSC? It is 2 years, right? So what is the term for non-permanent membership of UNSC? 2 years, right? This also we have to know, because India has become a member of this UNSC. That's why, right? And how much majority is required? That also we have to, right? Just find about that also. So these all we'll be taking up later. I'm just giving you the dimensions. So we'll get into the norms, right? So what is norms? So when India was doing election campaigning for UNSC elections, right? For the UNSC non-permanent membership elections, when India was doing the election campaigning, our external affairs minister used this word called norms, right? Our external affairs minister has used this word as a part of election campaign. So this is nothing but saying that multilateralism has to again increase in the global world, right? Multilateralism is the way forward. That's what this norm says, right? Multilateralism means no single country should be governing or making policies for the entire world, right? It should not be US, or it should not be China, or it should not be some other XYZ country. All the countries should have partnership or should be the stakeholder of global decision making. That is the philosophy of norms, right? No country should be left out. Developed countries and also developing countries and also underdeveloped countries all should be kept at a common level when decisions are being taken, right? Because if the developed countries take decisions, that will impact underdeveloped also and developing also. That's why everyone should have a say in the decision making process. That is multilateralism, right? No single country should dominate the world. If only one country is dominating, then it's called unilateralism, right? This is multilateralism. That means we have different powers, not single power, which is governing the world. So as a part of this election campaigning, other important words were used. These words are important for us with respect to prelims, right? So as a part of election campaigning, India was stressing so much on UNSC reforms. UNSC reforms. So UNSC as a body, we have to focus this year, right? For two reasons. India became a member, and also India always asks for UNSC reforms to expand the UNSC body, right? So this is important. UNSC, just focus it, guys, in howsoever dimensions as possible. And secondly, India also spoke about UNCCIT. There is a convention which India is trying to implement, which is called United Nations Convention to Combat International Terrorism, right? United Nations Convention to Combat International Terrorism. So for terrorism, there is no such global convention. Like for climate change, we have UNFCCC Paris Agreement, right? In this way, for terrorism, there is no such convention, right? So that is demanded by India from many years. But unfortunately, we were not able to pass this in UN General Assembly, right? So this was also mentioned by India a lot in the election campaign, right? So this is not yet signed and ratified by all countries, right? So this UNCCIT still did not see the light of the world. That is important for us, guys, because they can say UNCCIT, it was adopted by the United Nations countries. All the United Nations countries are members of this convention. We can see these kind of options, but that is not the case, right? This is still yet not passed in the UN General Assembly. This is a long pending demand of India that we have to know. And also 5S approach. Our External Affairs Minister, as a part of election campaigning, also spoke about 5S approach. 5S. One is Samman, SAMMAN. Samman means respect. Second thing is Samvad, SAMVAD. Samvad means dialogue. Third is Sahayog, SAHYOG. Sahayog means cooperation. Fourth is Shanti, means peace. And fifth is Samriddhi, means prosperity, right? Samman, Samvad, Sahayog, Shanti, Samriddhi. This 5S approach was also a part of election campaigning, right? So this is up to some extent important for prelims, but for mains this is very much important, right? For IR questions, we can straight away use this 5S approach, right? It gives a lot of impact. So this is about norms, right? This is related to international relations, right? So the options sometimes can be very misleading. They can say norms, recently seen in news. This is an index developed by Niti Aayog for so and so reason. These kind of things will be there, right? So at least we have to know this is related to reformed multilateralism, international relations, right? And focus on UNSC for this year. The fourth topic we are taking up is commercial mining, right? Commercial mining is the topic, fourth topic. So if you're following the current affairs, just a few weeks back, even private companies were allowed into this commercial mining business, right? So previously only the government, the central governments and the state governments, only they had the control over the commercial mining of the coal. Private companies only used to have captive mining powers. So this we have to know, what is commercial mining and what is captive mining, right? So because they can say recently government has passed an ordinance to allow private players into captive mining. That is wrong. From many years, private players or private companies were having captive mining. Recently, they were allowed into commercial mining. So first we'll see what is the difference between these two. Captive mining means, to simply say, when the coal that is extracted is used for a specific purpose, that is called captive mining, right? So private companies can use the extracted coal only for some specific purposes, like for steel plant raw material or for thermal power plants. In this way, they can use coal as a raw material for other industries, but they cannot sell the coal in the open market. This is the meaning of captive mining, right? Only for specific purposes, the private companies can use the coal. Commercial mining means they can sell the coal in the open market. Not only using it as a raw material for industries, but they can also sell this coal in the open market. This is called commercial mining, right? Previously, only government used to have this commercial mining power. But with the recent decision of the cabinet, commercial mining rights were even given to the private companies, right? So how are they given? They are given by a transparent bidding process. This we have to know, right? Bidding takes place, e-auction takes place. Through this e-auction, commercial mining rights will be given to the private companies, right? That we have to know. And some statistics about coal also we have to have an idea, right? So firstly, India has fourth largest coal reserve in the world, right? Fourth largest coal reserve in the world. And India is second largest producer of coal. India is second largest producer of coal. And also India is second largest importer of coal, right? India is the second largest producer of coal, and also India is the second largest importer of coal. And India has the fourth largest global coal reserves, right? These are some 3 facts. These are useful because they can ask in the prelims, right? They can say India is the leading producer of coal, which is wrong. It is the second largest producer, right? Because in 2019, India had a bumper harvest of rice, right? Sorry, in the year 2018, India had bumper harvest in the rice. And in 2019 prelims, they have asked which country is the leading producer of rice in the world. India, Vietnam, China and something. So topic will be about one issue in the current affairs, but that will be asked in another dimension in the prelims. So that's why when commercial coal mining is being opened for private players, this is one issue we have to take on the face, right? This we have to know. With that, the statistics also we have to focus, right? India is not the leading producer of coal. And also an amendment was done to mineral laws, right? Mineral laws amendment 2020. Go through that also. That is also important, right? In 2019 prelims, there was already a question about minerals. So just go through this amendment act also. They might ask, now what is the use of giving commercial coal mining to private companies? As we have seen, India is the second largest producer, but also second largest importer. And fourth largest reserves we have. That means we are not producing the coal at a good rate. We have the reserves, but we are not efficiently and effectively exploring them. That's why the private companies are being welcomed, so that they bring good technology and they bring good management practices with them, so that coal production will increase in India, right? That is the first benefit. Second benefit, employment generation, right? And also dependency on coal imports will reduce, right? If we are trying to produce coal within our country by using our reserves, imports will reduce. That means import bill will reduce. Burden on India's forex reserves will reduce. And obviously growth will improve. Growth of the economy will improve, because if you see, coal is one of the important industry that is measured in index of industrial production. There is an index called index of industrial production. For assessing the manufacturing activity level, there is an index called IIP, index of industrial production. Just find about it. So by index of industrial production, the government comes to an estimate of how is the manufacturing activity in the country, right? So coal sector is one of the core industry in that. So that's why it is important. So growth will also improve, and also regional development will take place, right? If we see this Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, these are the states which have rich minerals, but also these are the states which are very backward also. So why is that happening? Because one of the problem is private companies being not allowed for commercial mining. Now if we allow private companies also, local people will be getting more employment. So that is also there. Regional development is also there. And this everything comes under Ministry of Coal, right? For coal, there is a separate ministry, guys. It's Ministry of Coal, right? That also we have to know. But however, one of the negative thing by taking this is renewable energy sector will face competition now. Renewable energy sector will face competition. And find out how much FDI is allowed in coal sector, right? That is also important. How much FDI is being allowed in the coal sector, right? So these are some dimensions by which we have to analyze commercial coal mining, right? It was opened recently for private companies. Now they have both captive mining and commercial mining powers. Previously they used to have only captive mining, right? Fourth largest coal reserves, second largest producer, second largest importer of coal, and mineral laws amendment, just go through it. Employment improves, import bill reduces, growth will improve, index of industrial production, that measure will improve, regional development will be there, ministry of coal is there, separate ministry for the coal, right? Renewable energy sector might face a challenge, and FDI in the coal sector, it's 100% guys, in coal sector, right? So the next topic is Nasha Mukt Bharat. Nasha, N-A-S-H, this is a Hindi word. Nasha Mukt Bharat, right? So this Nasha Mukt Bharat is basically an initiative of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, right? Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. This Nasha Mukt Bharat objective is to reduce and prohibit drug abuse, right? Drug abuse is a major problem in India, especially in some states. It's very much severe, and especially among the youth, this drug abuse problem is increasing day by day, right? So that's why, to reduce this drug abuse in India, an annual action plan was brought, which is called Nasha Mukt Bharat, right? So this Nasha Mukt Bharat is basically an annual action plan that was launched by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment to reduce the drug abuse. These points we have to know. And this was launched on International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. June 26th is the date, right? International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. And this is not implemented in all the states and all the cities, but 272 most affected districts are picked up by Social Justice Ministry, and it's being implemented in this 272 districts, right? That we have to know. Annual action plan, preventing and prohibiting drug abuse is the objective. Now in this, so this is something which was in the news, right? So this we have to know. And apart from this, we also have to know some facts. One fact is the geographical location of India. You might have heard about Golden Triangle and Golden Crescent, right? These two are important. Because this Nasha Mukt Bharat was in the news, one thing is they can straight away ask, okay, this is launched by which ministry and what is it? It's an action plan, annual action plan. What for is it? To reduce drug abuse. That can be one dimension, how they can ask the question. Now the other dimension is, rather than asking about Nasha Mukt Bharat, they might ask about Golden Triangle. What are the countries that are in Golden Triangle? Or what are the countries that are in Golden Crescent? This we have to know. So in Golden Triangle, Myanmar, Thailand and Laos are there. In Golden Triangle, 3 countries are there: Myanmar, Thailand and Laos. Laos, Laos. These 3 countries are there, right? In Golden Crescent, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Iran are there, right? Afghanistan, Pakistan and Iran. These 3 countries make up Golden Crescent, and Myanmar, Thailand and Laos, these 3 make Golden Triangle, right? So these we have to know. And also in this context, we have to know the World Drug Report 2020 that was launched recently. World Drug Report 2020. So this was published by which organization? UNODC, right? UNODC, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. There is a United Nations body called United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime. This body has published World Drug Report 2020, right? So some facts in this World Drug Report also we have to know. It said that drug abuse is on rise, right? Drug abuse is increasing, especially in the COVID pandemic time. Drug abuse has increased. This is a shocking trend. And also drug trafficking also has increased. Drug trafficking also increased, and drug trafficking through alternative routes has increased so much, right? Alternative routes, illegal drug trafficking has increased. Cannabis, there is a particular type of drug called cannabis, right? Cannabis, C-A-N-N-A-B-I-S, cannabis. These are the most used drugs. And opioids, O-P-I-O-D-S, opioids are the most harmful drugs. And previously we had this drug abuse problem mostly in developed countries. But now even in developing countries also this has emerged as a huge problem, right? Not only in developed but also in developing countries, this is happening to be a very big problem. That also this report says. Take 2018 report, India topped in the South Asian countries in terms of production of these drugs. Production, manufacture and sales of the drugs, India has topped in the South Asian country, right? In the year 2019, which is a sad trend. So this is about Nasha Mukt Bharat, guys. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, annual action plan to prevent and prohibit drug abuse, launched on International Day Against Drug Abuse. 272 most affected districts were picked up. Golden Crescent, Golden Triangle, what are the countries involved, we have to know. And also this World Drug Report 2020, which was published by UNODC, right? UNODC also published another report on illegal wildlife trade also. Just find out what that report is, right? So this is about Nasha Mukt Bharat. So now we'll take up some environment topics also. So firstly, Deep Ocean Mission. Deep Ocean Mission. Yesterday we have discussed about Seabed 2030 project, right? Seabed 2030 project. That was taken up by Nippon of Japan and GEBCO, G-E-B-C-O. So bathymetry it is related to mapping the ocean floor. That is done by Japan and GEBCO. This Deep Ocean Mission is done by India. India's exploration in the Indian Ocean region, right? So this is that mission. It is Deep Ocean Mission. So what is this Deep Ocean Mission? The objective is to explore untapped ocean resources in the international waters, right? In the UNCLOS treaty class, I have explained you what are the different zones which come under the control of India, right? Territorial waters, contiguous zone, exclusive economic zone, and beyond that is the international waters. So in international waters, no single country has the control. All the countries have rights over it, right? It's like a global resource which any country can use, right? That is international waters. So Deep Ocean Mission is India's mission to explore untapped ocean resources in the international waters, right? International waters, because options can be saying Deep Ocean Mission is India's mission to explore India's exclusive economic zone. No, India's exclusive economic zone is already under India's control, right? Already we have explored it. International waters we didn't explore, so we are trying to explore it. That is Deep Ocean Mission. That is the first point. Now why are we trying to explore it? Because we have polymetallic nodules. Polymetallic nodules, these are minerals mostly consisting of manganese and iron and their oxides, right? So these polymetallic nodules are present in the international waters region. So these are very important minerals, right? For the mineral security of the country, these polymetallic nodules are very much important. That's why India is trying to explore the international waters, right? So polymetallic nodules, this is important, this word is important. And now international waters, which region are we exploring? Now we can't explore as and when we want, right? We need to take permission. There is a body called International Seabed Authority, right? International Seabed Authority. This International Seabed Authority under the UNCLOS Treaty, United Nations Convention on Law of Open Seas, right? UNCLOS. This UNCLOS, under this UNCLOS, International Seabed Authority is the agency which gives permission to any country to explore international waters, right? Till exclusive economic zone, we need not ask anyone because it is under our control. But international waters is under no one country's control. So we need to take permission from International Seabed Authority, right? So in 1987 itself, International Seabed Authority gave permission to India to explore Central Indian Ocean region, Central Indian Ocean Basin. This region was given permission by International Seabed Authority to explore, right? So India is right now exploring this Central Indian Ocean Basin, right? We got the rights in 1987. So this deep ocean mission is basically deep sea mining project, right? Deep sea mining project. We go into very much depth and try to map the floor and get the resources. For what? For polymetallic nodules, essentially, right? Polymetallic nodules. And India also started two important projects. One is desalination plant. Desalination plant powered by tidal energy. Using tidal energy, India is planning to run a desalination plant. That is one thing. Second thing is India's other project is to make up a submersive vehicle, right? Submersive vehicle that can explore the ocean bottom. So these two projects are being taken up by India as a part of this deep ocean mission, right? One is to establish a desalination plant that runs on tidal energy, and the other thing is to make a submersive vehicle which can go into depths and analyze the ocean floor, right? So O-SMART is another term we have to know. O-SMART. O-SMART. This means Ocean Services, Technology, Observations, Resource Modeling and Science. I'll repeat it again. O-SMART. This is related to Ocean Services, Technology, Observations, Resource Modeling and Science, right? Basically, this is related to research and development in the ocean region. So if we know like this also, it's very much useful because the question can be saying, O-SMART recently seen in the news is related to. 4 options will be given. One is related to space, other is related to ocean, the other one is related to smart cities, right? In this way, they will be giving to confuse us. So O-SMART is related to ocean services, technology, observations, resource modeling and science, right? R&D for ocean. This is also a mission which India is implementing to explore the ocean, right? So this can be connected to blue economy and SDG 14. Just like how we related yesterday's Seabed 2030 project to SDG 14 and blue economy. In the similar way, this is also related to blue economy and SDG 14, right? So this is about deep ocean mission, guys, to explore the ocean resources in the international waters, right? International waters by India. Polymetallic nodules for mineral security. Central Indian Ocean Basin is the area where we are focusing now, right? We got the rights for this in the year 1987 from International Seabed Authority under UNCLOS treaty, right? These are something. Now desalination plant is one project and submersive vehicle. These are the 2 projects taken up by India. And O-SMART is also related to research and development activities for ocean region, right? This is about deep ocean mission. Next is colistin. Next topic is colistin. C-O-L-L-I-S-T-I-N. Colistin, right? Next topic is colistin. C-O-L-L-I-S-T-I-N. Now this colistin is basically an antibiotic, right? It's basically an antibiotic. Now this was in the news because the health ministry last year in 2019 has prohibited or banned, completely banned manufacturing, sales and production of this colistin drug for animal supplements, right? Health ministry has banned this colistin drug for manufacturing, sales and production for animal supplements. That means the health ministry told this colistin drug should not be used for animals. It should not be used to feed the animals, right? It should not be used as a supplement for the animals. Why? This we will be taking up now. So this colistin is basically called the last lifeline drug for humans. It's called the last lifeline drug for humans. It's also called as reserve antibiotic. That means why it's called last lifeline is when other antibiotics and all other treatments, if nothing is working on a particular patient, then this colistin is given to cure some bacterial infections, right? So that's why this colistin is used. It's a last lifeline drug, lifeline, right? It's called a reserve antibiotic. If nothing is working out, then this colistin is used, right? For the most severe circumstances, this colistin is used to treat the humans. But now what is happening? This colistin is being misused in poultry and aquaculture, right? In the fisheries and poultry, they are misusing this colistin. How are they misusing? They are feeding the poultry and the fisheries with this colistin drug so that weight of their flesh increases, right? So that weight of the meat increases. For that purpose, colistin is being fed to the poultry and the fisheries, right? Now, as it is being fed to poultry and fisheries, now we have already discussed about bioaccumulation and biomagnification, right? As we go to the above levels of food chain, this chemical gets transported. So now the poultry and the fisheries are having this colistin. Now we will ultimately consume this poultry, the chicken and the fisheries, right? So this colistin is getting into our body. So this bacteria are getting resistant to this colistin drug, right? Antimicrobial resistance is increasing for this colistin drug. As a result, what's happening? This colistin is failing to be a lifeline drug, right? Bacteria are not responding to this colistin drug. They have become resistant. But this is a very important drug. As I have told you, it's like a reserve antibiotic. If nothing is working out, this will be used, right? So such a drug is going waste because it's being misused in the poultry and fisheries sector, which is leading to antimicrobial resistance, right? So the point here we have to remember is government banned colistin only for animal supplements. Government didn't ban colistin for health purposes. That we have to know, right? It didn't ban colistin as a whole. It banned colistin, it banned the usage of colistin in animals, right? That is important because they can say health ministry has recently banned colistin for all purposes, right? So that specificity is important, and this step is taken under Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. This is the legislation that governs drugs in India. Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, right? Also because of this vaccine trials and various antibiotics and antivirals that are being trialed during corona times, DGCA is one important body which is in news. Controller General of India, DCGA, sorry. So this DCGA is also important. And there is another organization called CDSCO. CDSCO. Just find about this DCGA and CDSCO, guys, right? Because of the corona vaccine trials, these two were in the news. So find out this body comes under which ministry, what does this DCGA do, right? All this you have to know. So this is about colistin. It's an antibiotic. It's an antibiotic, right? Not an antiviral. It's an antibiotic.